10 minutes about Israel. He's going to be speaking about why Palestine is still the issue. So I'd like you to join me in welcoming Professor Palexpo.
Thank you. It's great to see you all here. It's a pleasure to address you. Palestine is still the issue because it's one of the few places in the world, and one of the few political issues and problems in the world which is still misunderstood and still misperceived and misrepresented in this time and age. It's one of the few places where peace processes lead to more violence, where mainstream media and mainstream politics, either intentionally or naively, don't get the main issues that are at the heart of this conflict. So it is not just about the future of Palestine and Israel, or the Jews and the Palestinians that we talk about when we discuss Palestine. We discuss an inability, especially in the West, to comprehend and understand one of the most important conflicts that still rages on, that still continues, and affects not only the people who live there, but the region as a whole, and I would say even the world at large. And the reason that we are still talking about Palestine and we're still struggling to explain to people what the issue is about is because there is a tendency to accept a certain narrative, a certain version, a certain story about Palestine and Israel that has very little relevance to the reality on the ground. And this narrative, this version, feeds the so-called peace process, feeds the mainstream media, feeds even the mainstream academia when it engages with the question of Palestine. Now, do they engage with their own version or narrative willfully or naively? It doesn't really matter. What matters is that there is a common story that is being told about Palestine that is fabricated, based on lies, and disables us from moving towards peace and reconciliation in this particular part of the world. You would understand the issue of Palestine if, for instance, you would go back to 1948, a year that is totally absent from the agenda of the peace process, which is hardly dealt with by most of the university courses and lecturers who teach about Palestine. If you go back to 1948, you will understand the reason why the peace process that started in 1967 has led to nowhere. Not only has it not offered us a solution, it in fact created more frustration, despair that is easily translated into violence. If you go back to 1948, you can understand the magnitude of the disaster that Palestine and the Palestinians underwent, and the reason that they will not be able to accept any solution, any reconciliation, unless the events of 1948 are being acknowledged, are being accounted for, and are being integrated into the peace agenda between Israelis and Palestinians. It is only if you go back to 1948 you can understand the story of the 50 years before that. It began with the Balfour Declaration, which we are going to commemorate this year in 2017. It begins with the British promise to a settler colonial movement to be able to colonize a country, a homeland for native indigenous people, even before the British themselves had conquered that country. And with the help of Britain, the settler colonialist movement built a base in the land of someone else. And on the basis of this foundation, developed a colony, a settler colony. Now, a settler colony quite often is different from a classical colony. A settler colony is built on the ideology that the settlers see themselves as the indigenous people and see the indigenous native people as aliens. In some places, it took 100 years for this process to take place, where the settlers came, indigenized themselves, and alienated the natives. In Palestine, it happened even before the first Jewish settlers arrived in Palestine. Already on the way to Palestine, they regarded the Palestinians as aliens and themselves as the true natives of the country. And with the help of the British Empire, this project of turning the natives into aliens and the settlers into natives began to prosper and develop. And one of the basic logics of a settler colonial movement, be it Zionism or be it the white settlers movement in South Africa or in North America, one of the basic logic, one of the basic assumptions of a settler colonialist movement is that the settler colonial project cannot succeed unless you remove the native population, unless you get rid of the native population. So it's not enough to regard the natives as aliens and yourself as a native. That's, of course, the first phase. But the second phase is to get rid of the natives so that you can prosper as the new natives of that particular homeland. Again, in many places in the world, this process was a very long process. In North America, in South America, in Australia, in New Zealand, these processes took more than 100 years, sometimes 150 years to materialize. In Palestine, it took 30 years. It took 30 years because the Western world, Europe in particular, felt that assisting the Jewish settler colonization of Palestine, this project that I was talking about, of turning the natives into aliens and removing eventually the natives from the homeland, this particular project fitted Europe. Europe of the First World War and Europe of the Second World War and the European powers in between the wars, and definitely the European political system after the Second World War. It fitted it well because it solved a problem which Europe found very difficult to deal with. For the absence of a better term, I would call it the Jewish question. It's not surprising that the biggest supporters of the idea of the Jews colonizing Palestine and replacing the Palestinians, the biggest supporters in Europe of this project were anti-Semites. They really wanted to support the Jews in their wish to leave Europe because they didn't want them in Europe. And this connection between a European refusal to accept the Jews as equals and helping them to colonize Palestine is the tragic reality we're still living in today. This is why the confusion exists between what is anti-Semitism, what is anti-Zionism. This is why some people genuinely think that if you criticize Israel or you criticize Zionism, you must be anti-Semitic, or in my case, a self-hating Jew. This is not true. The problem is that because these two different issues that have nothing in connection between them, the way Europe deals with those who are not Europeans in their eyes, it used to be Jews, now it's Muslims. It doesn't matter. It's the same issue. It's the same question of tolerance, multiculturalism, the ability to accept the other and not to reject him or her. But this issue has nothing to do with the colonization of Palestine, a case that happened elsewhere in the world, where people from Europe who were persecuted or felt unwelcome in Europe go to someone else's homeland, colonize it, dispossess the native people, and if they are lucky, get rid of them altogether. If they are not lucky, as happened in Algeria, South Africa, and Palestine, they will be engaged in a war for many, many years, unless they do what South Africa did, which is totally to change the relationship between the settlers and the natives, or they'll do what happened in Algeria when the settlers decided to leave the new homeland altogether and go back to France. But if they insist on keeping the new homeland and are unable to get rid of the natives, you have a conflict. So what we need in Palestine, if we take 1948 and even 1917 as a departure point, and not 1967, which is the departure point for the people who are engaged in the official peace process. If you don't take 1967 as the departure point, but we go back to 1948 or even back to 1917, then we understand that what we are missing in Israel and Palestine today is not an efficient peace process. We don't need a peace process. We don't need a peace diplomacy. We don't need to bring the two sides together with the help of the international community or the help of a more mature country like the United States, which probably sounds quite funny these days to use the word mature in American policy. But nonetheless, we don't need that kind of framework for pushing forward peace and reconciliation. What we need in Israel and Palestine is to undo the settler colonial project. What we need to do is to decolonize Palestine, Israel, the Palestinians, the Israelis. We all have to be decolonized because the settler colonial ideology is still the ideology of Israel today. Because they were unsuccessful because they have failed in having a complete removal of the indigenous people. Because the Palestinians started a war of liberation, and because many of them are still there in their homeland. Because all of that, the settler colonial machinery, the settler colonial ideology, the settler colonial policies are still intact. In 1948, the Zionist movement succeeded in taking over 80% of Palestine and kicking out half of the Palestinians of their homeland. But still, a small minority of Palestinians remained within the Jewish state, and 20% of Palestine was not under Israeli control. In 1967, Israel was able to take over the whole of Palestine, 100% of Palestine, but with the occupation of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, incorporated almost the same number of Palestinians it had kicked out in 1948. So in order to engage with the presence of the Palestinians, with the Palestinian national movement, with the Palestinian aspirations and demands and insistence that Palestine belongs to them, in order to engage with this, and without giving up the settler colonial mentality, namely that Palestine is yours and actually the Palestinians are aliens, if this is what you have, a liberation movement of the indigenous native people and the settler colonial mentality of the colonizer, the only thing you can have is a conflict. And the only way the Zionist movement and later the State of Israel can deal with the aspirations of the Palestinians, with the attachment of the Palestinians to their homeland, the only way they can deal if they don't give up the settler colonial mentality is by using force. And they for that purpose, they have built a huge military capacity, employing it against people who have very little military capacity themselves, who rely on others, namely their Arab brothers and sisters in the Arab world, or the Muslim world, which has failed so far the Palestinians dismally in supporting them. So we're really facing an imbalance of power between one state that is the strongest military state in the Middle East and the weakest political community in the Middle East, the Palestinians. And this imbalance will continue, and the horrible, cruel results of this imbalance will come to us through the television screen, through our visits to Palestine, with all its brutal reality of the killing of people, of expelling people, demolishing their houses, imprisoning people without trial. This whole reality will continue to be in our face if we continue to talk about a peace process between the settler colonial state that still adheres to the settler colonial mentality, in brackets, again, a mentality that says that the natives are aliens and have no right to be in the homeland, and the liberation movement that believes that it can restore the sovereignty, the ownership of the natives to their homeland. As long as the peace process is not dealing with this core of the issue, it's a peace process which is totally irrelevant. It has nothing to do with the issue. It's almost like going to someone who's very ill and having the wrong analysis of the illness, the source of the illness, and providing medicines that not only do not recover the patient, but makes the patient even more ill. And this is exactly what the peace process is all about. So what should we do in order not only to remind people that Palestine is the issue, but ask them to frame Palestine in the right way? There are a few things I think we should do, and I know many of you are doing it, but I think towards the end of my talk it's worth mentioning them again. I think the first thing we have to do is to change our language. We are using a language that is being brought to us and being produced in the mainstream media, in the mainstream academia, by the politicians, especially by the diplomats who allegedly are engaged with the peace process in Israel and Palestine. They talk about occupation of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. They talk about the end of the occupation. They talk about a just solution that is based on a two-state solution. They talk about a peace process where two sides should have peace camps that would see the reason and build bridges between the state of Israel and a small Palestinian Bantustan in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. This language is powerful. It blinds people. It does not allow us to see the reality for what it is. You hear this language, you really think that there are two equal parties there, equally to be blamed for the continued violence, and all you need is someone from the outside to help them settle few issues like borders, distribution of natural resources, and military arrangements. This is the gist of what we call the peace process, including the Oslo process. This is the language we should throw away. We should get rid of this dictionary, and we should use a different dictionary. A dictionary that says that the problem in Israel and Palestine is the ideology of Zionism. And we should not be afraid to say that we are anti-Zionist, even if people legally try to tell us in Europe that they are going to equate legally anti-Semitism with anti-Zionism. If legislators are stupid, we should educate them, but we shouldn't coward them. Secondly, we should not talk about the peace process. We are far away from a peace process. What we need is to decolonization. And the first step for decolonization is to stop the atrocities that are happening on the ground. We should never say, let's have, as the Israelis suggest, and the rest of the world, that is the political elite of the world, are following suit. Let's have first peace, and then we can end the occupation, then we can end the discrimination and so on. No, it's exactly the other way around. First end the military occupation. First end the discrimination. First, allow the Palestinian refugees to return, and then we can talk about peace, not before. I was born in Israel. I'm an Israeli Jew. And when I talk about this issue, when I really think that without the right of return, without the decolonization, without the de-Zionization of Israel, without creating one state for all between the River Jordan and the Mediterranean, when I talk about these issues, I also think about my Israeli Jewish friends. I'm not doing it only for the sake of the Palestinians with whose cause I have been identified, and I'm devoting my life and will devote my life until my last day. I'm also thinking about them. I'm also thinking about them. If they will continue to subscribe to the settler colonialist mentality, ideology, it is not only that they would subscribe to a criminal policy and ideology, and they're already beginning to understand the responses around the world to this ideology through the very effective and blessed work of the BDS movement. It's not only that. I think they should look at history. Societies that were built on these ideologies of destruction, of violence, of the need to police another people, on the need to oppress on a daily basis because you are afraid that the moment you will stop the oppression, you will self be victimized. If you live like this, history tells us that if you live by the sword, you will fall on the sword. And if they want this future for their children, there's nothing we can do but to struggle against it. But if they want to listen, there is a different vision for them as well. We know the Palestinians. We know the nature of the struggle. We know what is their basic aspiration, which is totally denied, has been totally denied to them since the late 19th century. What most of the Palestinians, if not all of them, want, as the PLO Charter already in 1964 stated very clearly at the very beginning of the Mithaq of the Charter. What the Palestinians want is normal life. And what they are being denied is normal life. Every one of you who know enough about Palestine understands that for most Palestinians, the basic things that you can do in London, get on a bus and get home, go to the university, open your shop, are not simple actions in Palestine. They totally depend on the goodwill of a soldier, a sergeant, an officer, and quite often are denied. What they want is basically normal life. And they don't want to deny the Jews in Palestine normal life either. It is the Israelis who want to deny the Palestinians this normal life. So if we are looking for a vision which has normal life for both the third generation of settlers, that nobody wants to remove them anymore in the Palestinian movement, and for the God knows which generation of the native indigenous people, we should find the right political system that grants equal rights to everyone, regardless of their religion, their nationality, their gender, and their origin. And we should grant these equal rights to the refugees who were kicked out of Palestine in 1948. And then we can turn Palestine into one of the most blissful places on earth. It is for a good reason that this Holy Land is sacred for three monotheistic religions. It has a potential to be a power of good, a source of light, and not a place of conflict. But if we want to get there, and believe me, we will get there. We will get there. I'm very optimistic. We will get there. If we want to get there, let's get rid of the languages that are irrelevant. Let's not talk about peace, and let's not talk about occupation. Let's call the reality for what it is, and let's get rid of visions of political solutions that would perpetuate the conflict, like the two-state solution, and seriously talk about a political solution that grants equality for everyone who lives there and everybody who was kicked out of there and wants to come back. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Pepe. May I request that you all stay seated, because the young lady that I'm about to introduce made headlines last year by just speaking her mind and saying the truth. I myself am a teacher. My name is Nasra and I volunteer for Friends of Al-Aqsa. And I hope that you have enjoyed your time at Palexpo so far. But I would now like to introduce the young and talented Liane Mohammed.
Sure.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Palestine Expo 2017. I'd like to put excitement into words right now. The biggest Palestine event in Europe is officially happening. And to me, this is very special, as it should be for all of us. So, at the end of the day, we've all come together for one purpose and one purpose only. And I am certain that Palestine Expo will be the major platform pushing to end the oppression of the Palestinian people. So, I'd like to thank the organisers, Friends of Al-Aqsa, and all our supporters. And most importantly, I'd like to thank you for coming together and showing your solidarity for Palestine. And I'm very honoured to have the platform to speak here today. Thank you very much. So I'd like to begin by simply sharing with you my personal experience and my story. So last year I was nominated by my English teacher to take part in the Jack Petrie Speak Out Challenge, the largest competition for young people in the world. The competition involved giving students the opportunity to speak about any subject that they felt strongly about. Hence why I decided to speak about something I truly had a passion for, Palestine. I submitted a speech entitled Birds Not Bombs, and it won with applause and without any objection from my audience. Personally, I really wanted to spread the message of the reality of Palestine, but at the same time I was also celebrating my culture. After winning the regional Speak Out competition, I was extremely proud of my achievement. But this happy moment was then hijacked by online trolls who were out there to discredit me. They bombarded my school Twitter, which had to be shut down, and this left me distraught. Following on, they bombarded my Twitter, which left me distraught. But I was determined not to fall. And although they went online and even created videos labelling me to be the good little ISIS girl, I was not ready to back down. So my speech was emphatically opposed to racism and discrimination, calling for freedom and peace. But after my video had gone viral, pro-Israel trolls then accused me of vicious blood libels against Israel, and I was subjected to a barrage of online abusive comments and videos. From being called Little Miss ISIS, an immigrant scum, an ISIS recruiter who needs to be burnt alive, an evil anti-Semitic KKK Nazi schoolgirl who needs to be jailed permanently. I mean, I can go on and on and on. The amount of vile hate and abuse received was just disgusting. So I felt downhearted after receiving all those nasty messages, but anyone would. And the main point of why I have decided to share these hateful and appalling comments with you today is because I have realised and I have learned that no matter what you do or say, people will always judge, people will always go against, and people will always have an opposing view. But that should never stop anyone from standing up and speaking out, standing up for justice and speaking the truth. My empathy for the suffering in Palestine does not make me anti-Semitic, nor does it make me anti-Israel. but in fact, it makes me human. They can call me what they want, but I will never act like there is nothing going on. This further became a police matter, and although all the advice was to simply just shut my Twitter down, I was not ready to lose. With pain comes learning, and with the support of my family and my friends, I rose to the challenge. I was determined not to fall. They were not going to win, and it's proved that they helped me to have my voice heard as far and beyond as I could imagine. So thank you. No one will ever silence me, and I will shout louder about the plight of my people. So, as a British Palestinian living in Britain, I always question this to myself about the most disastrous date in history, 100 years back, the 2nd of November, 1917. What right did Britain have to give away my homeland? Why do they think it's okay to simply just organise people's lives like that? And why do people still question the existence of Palestine when it's pretty clear from the Balfour Declaration that it existed and it was stolen from its owners? Palestine is my country, my land and my home. Their pain is my pain and their freedom is my freedom. And they deserve political freedom. This aggression, this oppression, this injustice that innocent Palestinians have been facing for many years has left over thousands in exile, maintaining a dream to return, whilst I still maintain a dream to even visit my homeland for the first time. My homeland was not Balfour's to so casually grant to someone else. Britain had no right to destroy lives, leaving them to deal with isolation, discrimination and social exclusion, as well as all the other injustices faced. Haven't our people faced enough? Being dispersed into exile, evicted from their homes, separated from families, mothers losing their children, wives being left as widows and children being left as orphans? It became a place where living was almost illegal. And Balfour has served as a reminder of suffering for Palestinians during many years of occupation. This year marks 100 years of settler colonialism since the inception of the Balfour Declaration in 1917. Palestinians have had to deal with such isolation, discrimination and social exclusion for 100 years under Israeli policies. Israeli policies which are a form of apartheid. Currently, there are more than 80 laws that directly discriminate against the Palestinian minority in all aspects of their lives, including political, criminal and economic. As a young British Palestinian student activist, and before entering the Jack Petrie Speak Out competition, I was always very surprised at the fact that not many people knew my country. And my aim was to firstly educate. So this began by telling my friends, following on to classmates, year groups, and then I was lucky enough to have the platform to educate many by joining the Jack Petrie Speak Out competition. And I'm so grateful that I managed to educate many about the ongoing situation in my country, as many were clueless of it. So whether it was geography, and we were studying countries in the Middle East, Palestine was never mentioned. Whether it was history, and we were studying conflict around the world, the Palestinian-Israeli conflict was never mentioned. And whether it was RE, and we were studying evil and suffering, those suffering in Palestine were never mentioned. So how would you feel if I told you that these Palestinians now live their lives referring to themselves as forgotten people? Forgotten men, forgotten women, and forgotten children. But no, they are not forgotten, because Palestine exists. Palestinians exist. And despite not being shown on the media and being wiped off the map, Palestine and all those suffering are in the hearts of many of us around the world today. If it wasn't for my parents who taught me about my country and my culture, I would have been blinded to my true identity. I personally feel that we are limited to the knowledge taught about this, and I feel that students and schools should educate students about this. The students should feel as if they're learning something that actually educates them about the ongoing situation in our world today. And we deserve better than that. Palestine deserves better than that. We deserve recognition of our state. We deserve a public apology from the British government. And most importantly, we deserve political freedom. I encourage all students and young people to speak out, stand up and speak the truth and stand for justice. We will never be too young to have our voice heard for something that we truly believe in. And that is why I will continue boycotting, protesting, and most importantly, educating. Because education is the power for our future. And children are our future. Yet Israel denies Palestinians this right every single day. But like any other child, they should have the right to education. Every child deserves the right to survive and thrive and live their lives free from fear. So what is childhood? A time for growth, joy, and love? But not for the children of Palestine, who only know fear, anger, and oppression. To see your mother in pain, to miss a close call of death, to witness the imprisonment of your innocent father, is just another day in the life of a Palestinian child. Children are imprisoned and tortured, settlements continue to grow, and kids continue to face extremely dangerous walks on their way to school. But the most disturbing aspect of this all is the silence of our world. The Israeli occupation victims' target are always children, the weakest and the most vulnerable. Palestinian children are treated in ways that would traumatize and terrify an adult. So 2016 was the deadliest year for Palestinian children in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, according to the International Defence for Children. And over 50% of the 1.8 million population of Gaza are children, all severely traumatized as Israel's attacks continue, as they are under occupation. The lives of Palestinian children are nothing but fear, humiliation and rage. Everything is a burden. But Palestinian children should die with memories and not dreams. They deserve to grow up with human rights, dignity and a future free of repression. We should respect the human rights of all Palestinians, and especially Palestinian children, because children are our future. The children who have had their rights unjustly stripped away from them, but who will never back down, and will someday take back what is rightfully theirs. Palestinian children being arrested and imprisoned as young as the age of 11 is morally reprehensible and legally indefensible. It is time to stop the oppression and allow the people, particularly the children, a chance to heal. And in my opinion, even if the elderly died, the children will never forget. I stand in front of you today as evidence that children will never forget, and it still affects us today. We will never forget Palestine until hide and seek is no longer a matter of life or death for children, but again, we will never forget Palestine until children are running on fields flying kites and not running to protect themselves from missiles and bombs. We will never forget Palestine until children are growing up learning how to ride the bike instead of learning how to run and hide from rockets being shot in their neighbourhood. We will never forget Palestine until we enter a free Palestine. Their main target is to make us forget it, to disattach us from it. But Palestine will never be forgotten. We are the generation that will return to Palestine. We still resist, we have not forgotten, and we shall return. Return is our right and our will. I stand with all oppressed groups around the world, and I support Palestine, because no one should have to live under constant fear of being killed, arrested, or tortured just because they are Palestinian. I support Palestine because I believe in basic human rights. I believe in equality, justice and peace, and I just wish that we all had the same beliefs. We will not be silenced, and we will continue to speak out until they have justice. And together, our numbers make us stronger, our evidence makes us wiser, but our partnership is what makes us more powerful. We should never be afraid to raise our voices for truth, honesty and compassion against injustice, lying and greed. If all people would do this, it would honestly change the world. Their battle is our battle, and we can't let them go through it alone. Although we may not witness this on the media, this is everyday reality in occupied Palestine. This is what the media doesn't want to show you. But we mustn't stay silent. When we stay silent, we choose to support the oppressive acts of injustice. We must speak up to gain awareness and spread the message of the reality of Palestine and support the oppressed and not the oppressors. We must all wake up, speak up and stand up as one. Because in the end, one voice can make a difference. But our voices joined together can make a change. And together, we can make that change. By calling for a free Palestine. Thank you very much, I really appreciate it, thank you. Here we are today with the younger generation screaming for a free Palestine. Thank you, Mia. I will now be introducing John, an award-winning journalist and documentary maker who has won many awards for his work.
Have you got the book of what's on? What time there? Thank you. I forgot to pick mine up outside. I need to get back. Where's the timings? Here we are. Oh God, I should have bought glasses, shouldn't I? Churchill. I don't know what prescription you are. Where are we now? We're 120.
No, no, that's John Pilger next.
Oh yeah, there we are.
That's what she just said.
Yeah.
I think
12. Is that 125? Yeah. Okay, cool.
No,
I won't bother going out then. New learning curve.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. Always good to learn.
I must say, a lot of my prejudices or my perceptions of the issue, I mean, I've been aware of it for years, but I finally woke up, I really got to do something about it.
Right.
Well, I mean, just over a year ago, I stopped going to the meeting and I joined it just the end of last year. The history is difficult to remember.
Right.
I've got to the stage now where I can take that sort of nuanced view of some of these things, and I don't necessarily.
Well, it helps if you understand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've read a very good book by John Hugo. It's the history of the Arabs. It goes right back to the beginning of Islam. Obviously, it's a broader topic than just Palestine, but very much. But it's a great deal. It's obviously is about, but particularly later in the.
Yeah. What was that, about 600s, wasn't it? Birth of Islam?
I'm not terribly good on dates,
no?
But yeah, it's about that.
I think Muhammad was 636, wasn't he?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
It really was interesting explaining, about the different factions and how they arose. It went back to the...
What, different sects of Muslims? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you've got quite a lot of different sects, haven't you? Of Muslims, Shiites, Sunni, all different, Wahhabi. very diverse culture.
Also, I read book I've read, which is actually it's more like a collection of conversations between Ilan Pape and Noam Chomsky.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to hear people's views from their experience and everything.
I have heard them speak before, but I found it much easier to follow today.
Right.
I think it was maybe the sound system in
okay.
in a church hall.
Right. Oh, that wouldn't have been very good then.
Well, microphone.
A lot of echo.
He might have had a cold, I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I did say that. I made more or less the same speech of
I hope it's not the same because I've seen his others.
No.
Hopefully it'll come out something new.
No.
Pepe.
The young lady.
Oh yeah. No, that was good.
No, but I heard her make more or less the same speech at the. She appeared at the BSC AGM last year.
Oh, okay.
No.
She's a good little speaker.
Yeah, really good.
Very powerful.
Yeah. I was hoping to speak to Dr. Kami, but I think he's pushed off now.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you noticed, I think she said that early on about the sort of concept of a nation.
Right.
And they've got to have their territory.
Yeah.
I think that's an assertion which has been accepted, and I think it was initially promulgated by Woodrow Wilson.
Who's he?
Who's the President of the United States at the end of the First World War, and he was the prime mover in he was the brains behind setting up the League of Nations.
Right.
He promulgated this idea.
Was the League of Nations the precursor to the UN?
Yeah.
Well, they made it legal, didn't they? The Balfour Declaration to give Israel, to give Jews Palestine.
Yeah, but there's the qualification in it, as you know, the fact that in the Balfour Declaration itself.
Yeah.
I think that was put in by. I think it was coalition governments at the time, wasn't it, with Balfour?
Right.
In it was the wartime coalition.
It was France and Great Britain decided what would happen with all the Arab nations, didn't they?
Oh, that was the League of Nations, and I think the settlement was in 22. But no, I'm talking about when the Balfour.
Oh yeah, 1917, 1919.
Yeah, that was in it was still the wartime coalition. So
right.
I suppose I don't know which, but it would have been the Liberal input that required that slight watering down of it and this qualification. And nothing in the statement, nothing in the declaration, or nothing should prejudice to the rights of the Palestinian population, or paramount. that was written into it. But that was the problem with when the League of Nations adopted it.
Right.
They didn't honour that part of the Balfour Declaration.
Yeah. Who? League of Nations.
Well, yeah. I mean, when it was in the
League of Nations passed it as it was.
No, sorry, the mandate.
That was starting.
They set up the mandate.
It was later watered down after the initial declaration. It was done by the League.
I will now be introducing John Pilger, the award-winning journalist and documentary maker. He has made 2 documentaries on Palestine in 1974 on the Palestinian student issue and in 2002, the second part of the first documentary. Thank you.
Okay. Now.
That's it, yeah? She said she was going to come in, but not.
What's the food?
I've got emails.
Right now, right? Okay. Well, I will buy chocolate, I will buy sweet, thank you. We're gonna have no, I'm doing it as I go along.
Hello?
Asian cut.
Sorry, can I just get past this?
Sorry.
Jeez, thanks. What's the... Not my phone. No one's bothered at all. So we get some food. Yeah, still really long queues.
I just blanked, so I can't just blank. I think that you said 50 around there. Around that. Sorry.
Sorry?
Oh, really long queue. So,
You just said it.
right, go and get some food outside, I think. I could go over there. No. Going to the same place. hot. Okay, we're still recording, good. And right. Now one back to an eyelid. That's all right. Ah, brilliant. Going down.
It's 2 floors.
It's 2 floors, oh, too much. Are you going to see the thing tomorrow? The which one park? The which one parking?
I don't know, are you?
Yeah, I'm going actually. Is it next
Where is this? Second. What floor is that? To the second. I don't know about that. Like, I've got a few issues with that one.
Oh, is it? What? Don't want to do anything in there.
We're not listening on it.
That's why I never got on the list.
So you're entertaining them.
Is this one, yeah?
This one.
Oh, it's gone down.
The opposition would not succeed, and I was getting tweets back in Hebrew from all these groups here. In fact, they had their own Twitter name, Palestine Expo will not happen or something, will fail. And they were writing in Hebrew telling me that, you know, Friends of Al-Aqsa support terrorism, this event will never happen, and things like, well, you know it's not going to happen because these are obviously, you know, terrorist supporters, and we will not allow this to happen. Well, obviously they failed miserably. And I think this success of this event is so satisfying and is so important. It cannot be, I think it can't be overstated how important it is that this event succeeded. It's an important lesson to the opposition that things have been changing, that things are changing, they're changing fast, and that they are losing, and they should be getting used to losing, because that is the reality. Like Riyad was saying, resistance, resistance, resistance. This is resistance. I have absolutely no question about it. This is resistance. This is resistance to the occupation of Palestine. Again, like Riyad was saying, 69 years. I don't know why people are stuck with this 50-year thing. It's been 69-year old occupation of Palestine. This is resistance to that. It's resistance to oppression. It's resistance to the injustice. And it is a demand for equality and freedom in a democratic Palestine, in a free democratic Palestine. I was asked earlier something about the British Parliament, I guess, recognized the state of Palestine. And my question is, of course, what exactly state of Palestine are they talking about? This recognition of a Palestinian state is hypocrisy at its very best. It is Eurocentric colonialism at its very best. Recognizing something, not only recognizing something that does not exist, but by doing so, denying the fact that Palestine has been occupied, that Palestinians have been subjected to genocide and ethnic cleansing and a regime of apartheid for 69 years. So this recognition of a state that does not exist not only does not help, but actually makes things worse. I think it is incumbent upon the people who are across the street here in Westminster to finally wake up, to finally stop taking bribes from the Israeli lobby, stop supporting the state of Israel, and start realizing that Palestine must be free, can be free, and will be free. Mariam was I don't know if any of you were able to hold your breath. I know I wasn't able to hold my breath while she was speaking. But, anniversary after anniversary after anniversary after anniversary, the question is, how many more do Palestinians have to suffer? These are not happy anniversaries. These are commemorations of disasters, commemorations of ethnic cleansing, commemorations of genocide after genocide, one massacre after the other. This horrific 10-year-long siege on Gaza is horrifying. How many more genocidal policies will Israel get away with, and how many more commemorations of these horrific events will Palestinians have to sustain before the world stands up and says enough? Before, instead of sending troops and planes and God knows where to Syria and Iraq to destroy, why don't they send troops in order to open the siege of Gaza, to force Israel to open the siege of Gaza? Gaza, so Israel can no longer bomb Gaza. That is, if they want to use their military in a positive way, those are the things to do. This is where they need to fight injustice. But of course, that's not what they want to do, and that's not what they want to see. People talk about EDS, and I hope you know what
that's what I need to do. Yeah. Let's go and touch some water. Strange. What's that not? Should be about there. Oh. Good.
You know what? I'm just going to write it down.
Hello there.
They got rid of some of them, didn't it? Right, let's have another cigarette. Huh? Is it? Is that still recording?
It was great. I'm going to end up on some anti-Palestine.
Right, so going back in. Yeah, again. Oh, wrong way. Oh. Sorry? Yeah, I've been in. I've been looking at the speeches. Oh, I haven't got it.
Okay, come in.
I've got my ticket. I've been in already. I've been in like loads of times.
Okay.
I've just went out for a cigarette. Thanks. Could you do us a favour? Can you see the zip up at the top? Yeah. Could you just stick those in there?
What, the film?
Cheers.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks. Cheers. Saves me taking it all off.
Okay. I'll take a look.
Okay.
They have a plan, but I don't get the story. Maybe they want to keep the Palestinian question and just revival or return of the. That's what it is. That's what it is.
The third question.
Sorry, can I get...
Thank you for the lecture. We've been talking about 50 years, 69 years, but I think what we need is a clear correction for historical record. That Palestine was colonized on November 11, 1917. And the British were the first colonial power, and then they set the contract for the Zionists beginning in 1947-48. So when we speak about 100 years of colonization of Palestine, systematic, deliberate, and therefore 50 and 69 years they're just on the road toward the total dispossession of the Palestinians. So the British really need to be held responsible for the colonization of Palestine, and then their subcontractors, the Zionists.
Yeah, I'll recap the questions here. The first one was how can we change, or how will any results change Israeli society? Yeah, that was addressed to you, so yes, please, thank you.
Thank you, Hatem. It's always nice to have you making the right corrections, making sure we do the right thing. He and I spoke many times together, and it's always a pleasure to have him around. The question, how do we change Israeli society? I think the only way to change Israeli society, just like any other racist society, is a good strong smack on the back of the head. And I think BDS is exactly that smack on the head. Israeli society will change the day after. Israeli society will change the morning after. When Israelis wake up, they may well have a Palestinian prime minister. Their kids will be going to school with Palestinian kids. Their headmaster will more likely be Palestinians. And they will have to get up in the morning, go to work, send their kids to school, and the skies won't fall. That's when Israeli society will change. It will not change.
The second question was about witnessing a revival of the Jordanian option, and yeah, what's the long-term plan?
Many people in the world didn't understand because of the media. It's controlled, as I am a Palestinian and believe that the media, Western media, is controlled by the Zionist media. This is the truth. Because these people didn't know, they didn't understand the situation in Palestine. We are a Palestinian, we are not against the Jewish people. It's not a religious conflict. We are against the colonization. So we don't have any problem. Before the occupation came, it was Muslims, Jewish, Christians living in Palestine together. Same as what was in Yemen, in Egypt. Jewish was living everywhere, also in Palestine. So we are not against the Jewish. We don't want, as what they're saying in Western media, to kill the Jewish and to throw them in the sea. This is not the truth. We just want to change, and the solution, if we want to talk about solution about the Jewish and Palestinians, Christians, one state is the only solution that serves all the problems. One democratic state, one man, one vote. Everybody can get his right. Palestinians' right to repair, Palestinians to live in freedom, justice, equality, and to have one state for everybody.
And the final question was about the correction of the historical record, and that we should really actually think that's powerful. So,
yeah, no, I completely agree. If we're completely honest, even before that, Palestine was occupied also by the Ottomans, like considered an occupation. But Food did set a precedent, like I said earlier, on the stripping of Palestinians from agencies. you're spot on.
Thank you. Anybody else have any other comments?
I'll say one thing about the long-term plan. Just, you know, the question that people ask a lot is, what is the Zionist long-term plan? This is the long-term plan. What we're seeing now, the ongoing genocide, and by the way, if anybody has any doubt that what is happening is genocide, read the Geneva Convention on genocide, on the crime of genocide. There is no doubt that what Israel is doing is committing genocide. But the ongoing genocide, the ethnic cleansing, and this apartheid regime is the long-term plan. This is it. There's nothing beyond it. This is what Israel is planning to maintain. It's going to keep a very strong military force so that it cannot be challenged militarily. It's not being challenged politically yet anywhere around the world. And this is the plan. There's no deviation from it. It was the plan from the very beginning, and they're only becoming more bold. So this is it. I don't believe they have any plan beyond continuing what they're doing.
And it's also very important to just keep in mind that, you know, the plan is to completely take over, you know, the land of Palestinians and their rights. But Israel is also racist internally. You know, their racism isn't just exclusive to Palestinians. You see them completely racist to Ethiopians, that they've given forced contraception. They've kidnapped Yemeni Jews on their way to Israel. They're incredibly racist to Mizrahim. So it's not just having this, you know, it's Israel, but it's having this like very white-centric it's Israel. And it's very important to remember that they've taken their racism and just implemented it on everyone beyond Palestinians.
Thank you. I'd like to thank our panelists, Leah Bernat, thank you, Mariam Barghouti and Miko Perez. Thank you.
Do you know they don't even give a monkeys if they just call it Israel? They don't even call it Palestine. They're not worried. They just want to call it that.
Sorry. So everything's fine, no trouble the whole time I'm recording. I'm going to put my camera on and see what happens. Okay, let's see.
No, you have to. I think that's it.
Let's see if there's any.
Oh God.
Take some balls, this. Didn't want to do that.
Yeah, I know. I'm always looking at his son on Facebook. He's so cute.
Right.
His little son.
I haven't seen his son.
The little one. He's very cute.
Right. Sorry, can I get past? Thanks. Cheers.
Where you guys going?
Do I not? Do I not? Do I not? Do
Today, as I said at the morning session, we have had such a fabulous day. The response from everybody here has been amazing. People have been literally queuing across the building at the Queen Elizabeth Centre II to talk about Palestine, to come to the building and talk Palestine, to learn and enjoy everything to do with Palestine history, culture. And as a result of which, Palestine has not been censored today. As a result of which, because just by sheer numbers, the success of today has meant that tomorrow, hopefully we can replicate it by offering free discounts as well, because we have broken even on that factor. So thank you very much for everyone. Today, but everyone is obviously galvanized and to say we will come together here. So tomorrow, please spread the word. VIP 100. Make sure you're here tomorrow. Make sure your friends and family are here tomorrow. But I'm going to hand over to the chair of today's session, Louise. Thank you.
What did I say then?
I know,
It's 3 o'clock.
The only other thing is to go in one of the galleries.
Yeah? What are they?
We're ready to start our next panel. We have with us here Labour for Hammersmith and Slaughter. And we also have with him Professor Tariq Ramadan. So I think some people know that. What we will do with this panel is we will actually have Mandy speak first of all, and then we will take a round of questions from the audience again that Andy will answer, and then we'll have Professor Ramadan speak a next round of questions. Okay? So first of all, can I introduce Andy Slaughter, MP? Thank you.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me okay? Well, what a fantastic occasion this is, first of all. The reason for the order of speeches is slightly indulged me because I've got to go off and do the closing plenary of the Fabian Society at 4 o'clock. So, no offence and apologies if I leave before the end of the session. But I doubt they'll have an audience like this. And I'm told there have been thousands of people through the doors today. And I think this is a fantastic initiative. And we really need to do more of this. We really need to bring people together to celebrate everything about Palestine. Not the culture, food, drink. otherwise people think we just talk about politics all the time, which is very, very far from the truth. So this is a fantastic and I think unique event, and I hope the first of many, and the organisers have done a wonderful job, I think, in bringing everyone together here. Something else very unusual happened this week. We had a debate about Palestine in Parliament. The first debate for at least 4 years in government time. And we push and we push and we push. And there's no topic which comes up more in questions from backbench MPs, in letters, not just from MPs, but from the public to the Foreign Office. I was told by a former Consul General that 25% of all correspondence that goes into the Foreign Office is about Israel-Palestine, which is extraordinary if you think about the other amazing things that are happening around the world. And yet, when it comes to the British government actually speaking on the subject, they're very, very quiet. They say very, very little. And I don't know why they scheduled a debate. I think it's because they're in a complete state of disarray and they don't know what's going on and they've got no business and no laws to push through at the moment. But nevertheless, it was very welcome. It was a somewhat more subdued debate than the one we had earlier this year in backbench time. And if you follow our proceedings in Parliament, I don't blame you if you don't, then you will see that often these debates get very heated and sometimes generate more heat than light. And often they are sabotaged. They are often, you get a lot of filibustering and time wasting and things of that kind. And we know what that's about. That's about not allowing the message about what is actually happening on the ground in Palestine getting through to Parliament and to the British people through Parliament, and the way that and also the way that works through the media, and that is something we have to contend with all the time. This was a rather more controlled and therefore a rather more interesting debate, so I advise you to go and look at it, because what came out most in everybody's mind is that we have 3 anniversaries this year. We have the 10-year anniversary of the blockade of Gaza. We have the 50th anniversary of the occupation of Gaza and the West Bank and East Jerusalem. And we have the 100th anniversary of the Balfour Declaration. And a lot of people had a lot to say on all those subjects. And what is happening in Gaza at the moment is truly tragic on a catastrophic scale. And I truly believe that if that was happening anywhere else, then there would be far more of an outcry. And you would not have an on the one hand, on the other hand view about who is responsible for what's happening in Gaza. We know, do we not, who is responsible for what's happening in Gaza. We know that the occupation there has never ended because the blockade continues. And more extraordinarily, and the humanitarian situation there, and I'm sure everybody here knows, is incredibly bad in terms not just of people's life expectancy, in terms of what's happening to young people there, which is the majority of the population, in terms of there being no safe drinking water, in terms of there being no employment, but in terms of the terror that is unleashed on the population there on a regular basis. I went there with an ex-colleague of mine who's here, Martin Linton, who now travels to Palestine, 2 weeks after Cast Lead, which was the first of the recent Israeli invasions of Gaza in 2009, and I saw on the ground the terror that had been done to people there, where hospitals had been bombed, where phosphorus had been used, where weapons of that kind, where whole areas of Gaza had been flattened, industrial estates, villages, no strategic or military purpose whatsoever. And I think if this was happening somewhere else in the world, there would be an outcry, there would be an absolute outcry across the political spectrum. And that is the thing that we have to contend to here, that there is a relativism that is applied to Palestine that is not applied to any other situation. So we are mourning the 10-year occupation of Gaza. And when we're looking at Balfour, when we're looking at the Balfour Declaration, what I focus on is the second part of Balfour, the part that said there would be no prejudice to the rights of the non-Jewish people living in Palestine. Well, in what way, by the successive British government or the international community, has that been honoured over the last 100 years? So I actually say, when people say, why are we talking about Balfour at all? I say, let's talk about Balfour. Let's talk about the fact that Balfour came in 2 parts. It came about a Jewish state in Israel-Palestine, but it also came about the protection of the rights, the freedoms and the civil liberties of the Palestinian people. And anybody who reads, let alone visits the area, can say that that does not happen. And so I advise, and I'm giving you a plug for Martin and his organisation. There are others as well, but his is a fantastic organisation. If you haven't been, then go. Don't listen to me talking or telling other more esteemed and more experienced people than I am talking about it. Go and experience it yourself, because that's what changed my mind. Not that I wasn't already interested, not that I wasn't already committed to the cause, but when I went there for the first time, I couldn't believe that a situation could exist in developed countries in the 21st century, whereby a population who simply want to live in their own state. And by the way, it is outrageous and disgraceful to reaffirm this week that the British government did not recognise the state. Parliament has said overwhelmingly, the Labour Party has said, I think every other party in the country has said, just as a matter of natural justice, as a matter of even-handedness, as a matter of simply advancing a position where you try to get some sort of parity and esteem between the two states, let us have the recognition of the state of Palestine. And actually, and it was a regressive step, the British government's line used to be that we will recognise the state of Palestine when the time is right. What they said this week in Parliament was, we will do that, yes, at the end of the talks, as part of the outcome of the talks. Is that the talks that have been going on since Oslo, since Madrid, for 25 years or more, which have achieved almost literally nothing, except that the rights of Palestinians and Palestinian land has been taken away gradually and then increasingly. So let's look at a couple of things that happened this week. One of which was part of the remorseless increase in settlement. And yes, that's been going on under successful Israeli governments, all parties, for many, many years. But it's changed in character over the last, under the most recent Netanyahu government. What we now have is far more strategic and provocative settlement building. So 1,800 new settler homes in East Jerusalem, including in Sheikh Jarrah, in the heart of East Jerusalem. Moves to complete the E1 settlement, which will effectively cut the West Bank in two. Moves to build new settlements, and there are new settlements for the first time, not so-called extensions of existing settlements, between Bethlehem and East Jerusalem, cutting off those two key centres of the Palestinian population. This is not just a land grab. This is a strategic proposal to make sure that Palestinians become.
Hands off.
Coffee. So, thanks. Everywhere excuse.
Excuse me, sir. You got a ticket?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you registered?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you.
Right. Well done.
I've got a ticket, yeah?
Yeah, you need to get the ticket.
No, I've already done it.
No, we need to get, I've got a wristband.
Oh, I dropped it by mistake.
No,
The ground.
if you dropped it, then you will get a replacement.
Oh,
Can we,
I'll get it.
When we go back home, we get a replacement, yeah?
Right, that's fine.
Because I need to see your wristband, your ticket. You need to have a barcode on it.
Hold on, you should take the other one. I did have two. I don't know whether she took it, but she goes with this. She might have. Yeah, I went to this over there. Hold on, see if it's in my pocket here.
Okay, yes, let's take it to see the gentleman at the scanner there? Let's take it to him and then that's where you take that up there. Okay.
She took the ticket.
Oh, no worries, mate. Just pop up on the desk. We'll get that sorted out, okay?
Yeah, no problem. Where is it? I definitely had it here a second ago. That's great. Very great. I'll go and show her this.
Okay, so let's head over there.
Thank you. She gave me that, but she didn't. I think she's taken my piece of paper.
Sorry, sir, we only take good-looking people.
I am.
But if you register around the corner...
I've already registered once. She gave me a pen, but I dropped it over there somewhere.
You just do it once again.
The end piece came off it.
I'll give you another one.
Do you know this gentleman is asking whether the rooms are going to be shut or not later on?
Whether what?
Over
on the corner. Sorry.
Over there. That's right, no problem. Right, so. Hello. Well, that's the ticket. I've got it on my phone as well. So.
You have the e-ticket on your phone?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, fine. Let's get it out.
Hold on.
Get that sorted.
Organisation you from?
Sorry?
Which organisation?
I'm not. I'm by myself.
One second.
Can I keep that bit? Because that's my receipt. I'd rather keep it. It's gone.
Can you just get your e-ticket out on your phone, please?
Yeah. I want to make sure I keep it. It's just taking my ticket that I paid for. The payment
What if you
slip.
have it on your phone?
Yeah, but it's
then
taken
we
my
can
payment
reprint
slip.
it.
That's my receipt for the thing.
Yes,
and he's
but
just walked off with it.
Your e-ticket on your phone.
Okay, how do I get the e-ticket up? Wallet or... Oh, it'll be under my... Oh, there we are, Everlight. No, that was SOAS University. Mail, email. Mail. Printer, all the
Yeah, you've already got a camera there, you can see.
Right, so
we have to ask him to leave.
right, because this isn't an office.
Why do you have to ask me to leave?
How much did you pay for it, sir?
It says on there, £20.
That's fine, we'll refund your money, sir.
No, I don't want my money back.
That's your choice. Then we'll
I'm sorry, there's...
to leave.
I'm going to find my ticket. I've got a ticket to be here.
I'm sure it's refusal as well.
Sorry?
You have a right to refuse.
On what grounds?
It's on the ticket.
On what grounds?
Because we feel that you're going to be causing trouble.
Why am I causing trouble?
You're already recording this.
Loads of people are recording speeches and stuff.
No, nobody's come without asking for permission to record.
Sorry?
Nobody has come here to record anything without...
Well, there's nothing on the ticket to say that I can't record.
So you have to leave. We'll refund you your money.
Why? I don't understand. I don't understand why I'm being asked to leave.
Well, yes, they have the right to do that. So just
On what grounds?
So, yeah, please, yeah.
On what?
You haven't got
a
ticket to the debate.
Do you know something? I've been here for about 2-3 hours, and I haven't...
They are the organisers, and they said they don't want to hear.
Because you haven't got a
right,
ticket.
well, I want to know why. Why am I being excluded? I have got a ticket, it's on my phone.
Show us the ticket.
Fine, I'll show you the ticket. And he's now taken my receipt away.
No, it's
oh,
there.
brilliant, thank you. That's my receipt, thank you. No, that's my receipt.
Hold on, what's your account?
Order update, order update, well pay, universe. Oh, yeah, we are.
What's your name, please?
Jason Silver, there we are. That's my ticket. PDF ticket.
Yeah, fine.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so can we process that and
Yeah,
get a
of course. Can I have my thing back?
Okay. And it's up to them if they want to refuse it or not. I think Shamil and your
Okay, I'll put it on. I did have one before, but in the end bit came off. I pulled it open.
It's just so you can go in and out if you need to. Can you wait here around that?
Why?
I just need to determine whether we're allowed to give you entrance.
Well, I've already been in once. I've been here since 11, 12 o'clock.
It's a ticket, that online one.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
That's fine.
Is this man Uncle aware? Would you mind contacting Shamil again for me?
Yeah, that's no problem.
Why is there a problem?
That's fine. There's no problem. We just need to determine.
You have to find out where this thing. The lady says he's got a genuine ticket.
He's
no,
up on his page. Obviously, I haven't gone on to anything else.
Shamil, it's up to you if you want to.
That's fine. But even apart from that, even this one is not allowed in here. That one's not allowed in here.
What?
The CCTV camera.
Okay, fine. Shamil,
it's not even turned on.
Shamil wants to refuse
It's not even allowed here.
It's not even turned on.
Shamil is refusing him entry, so we have to have to leave.
Okay.
Final decision is
Are you refusing entry?
There's loads of people recording on their phones.
My friend,
all the time.
You're refusing entry, so just make your way out.
On what grounds are you refusing me entry, please?
Yes, you can do that outside.
I'd like to know. Well, I want an explanation before I'm removed.
Okay, if you like to wait on the side.
No, I'm fine here. I've been in here since 12 o'clock.
Sir, they have refused your entry.
Excuse me.
Don't be difficult.
I've been in here since 12 o'clock.
Now this is
I've put on a yarmulke to make a point, and now you're telling me I've got to get out. I've been here for 3 hours.
No, you're not been here for 3 hours.
I have.
I'm telling you, not for 3 hours.
My friend,
I've been here since 10:30.
Look, I'm going to ask Dan.
I want to know what the problem is.
If Dan said I should move him,
I'm being victimised. You're not doing this to anyone else, are you?
No, this is your consent. As the organisers of this event, we have the right to refuse.
On what grounds?
We made that decision.
On what? You have to tell me what grounds.
If you move to the side, he'll tell you.
You have to tell me what grounds. I'm being.
If you stand on the side, so we will be able to advise you of that further.
Okay. Fine. Well, this is racism, isn't it? So I've been in here for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, since 12 o'clock, yeah, no, since about 11:30 I've been here, and now I've got a yarmulke on and I'm getting victimised all the time.
But of course he has proven that he's got a ticket. But even so, the organisers has got the final word. If the organisers want me not to come back tomorrow, when do I work here? They can say so.
That's fine, but I want a reason. I want a reason. No, you have to give a reason. That's the law. If you're going to refuse someone, you tell them why.
Anyone is welcome.
Yeah.
The Jews are welcome.
I didn't know. It's not
the Jews are welcome. Even I mean.
Let me make this point. I've been here since I got on the train at 10. Got here about 11.
Are you recording?
I got here at 11 o'clock.
I don't want to.
No, it's not on. It's run out of battery. I got here at 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I've been going to all the meetings, not a problem. I've had food upstairs, not a problem. I put on a yarmulke 15 minutes ago. I'm being forced out. Tell me if that's not wrong. Everyone's showing their faith here. All Muslims, Christians, whoever. I've put this on. I'm getting thrown out. It's wrong. This is my position.
Let me be clear.
You don't know what my political views are, whether I believe Palestine's good or bad.
It's not about. I mean, you have the right to show your religion, to religious affiliation. I mean, there is no point about it. There is no discussion about it. But if you
I haven't caused any problems.
Yeah. But if you come to disrupt or to interrupt or to as a fervent Zionist, but we are not here to debate with Zionism. With Zionists, I mean.
No, I know.
Yeah, as I said before, as an organiser, we have the right to refuse.
Yeah.
And we'll ask you to.
Can you tell me on what grounds, please?
As an organiser, I don't have to do that.
Yeah, you do. You can't just throw someone out of an event and not give them the right.
You come through holding a camp when no one else.
Loads have got. Look, see?
Sorry.
See? Phone. I've seen loads of people taking videos. That's discrimination.
Sorry.
It's discrimination. I want to know what grounds I'm being thrown out on. Yeah, but not when there's this many people and they're throwing one person out. One person that happens to have a yarmulke on. Yeah. I've been here for 3 hours and I haven't had an issue until I put this on and now I'm being thrown out. That says something, doesn't it? It says that Jews aren't welcome here, basically. No, I want to know. I want someone official to tell me I'm not welcome here because I'm a Jew. You don't know what my political ideas are. I love Palestine. I think it should carry on. I understand, but I want an answer. I want to know why I'm being evicted from the premises. Otherwise, I'm going to go out and find, there is a policeman. Hold on. Excuse me, officer! Officer!
Let's go and see him.
No, I'm staying here. You know, I want a policeman. I think I'll dial 999 actually.
Ask him to come back.
Yeah, ask the policeman to come back, please.
I'll just wait there, sir. Don't worry, I ain't going to do this.
No, I know there's enough police outside and everything. I just think it's a shame, really. Everyone can show their sign of faith apart from a Jew. Morally wrong. You know, doesn't matter what you think about the conflict. It's wrong. I've been here for like 3 hours. Not had any problem. I've been watching them. I've been sitting there quietly. As soon as I put this on, it's like all changed. I know. It's terrible. This is Britain. You should be allowed to show. Everyone should be free to show their faith. People are treating me like a pariah, taking pictures of me. You know, fine, let them. It's just wrong. Do you work as general security for the building? Yeah, okay. It's sad. It's a real sad case. And I was hoping no one would say anything. I really was. So that it would just be, look, there's no problem, you're equal, you're the same as everyone else, not a problem. But unfortunately, I knew that this was going to happen. It's a shame. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, this gentleman's been asked to leave for our main event.
Okay.
And he's sort of refused me.
Okay. Is there a reason why you're refusing to leave?
Well, I want to know why I'm being refused, why I'm being thrown out. It's my right to have
Has he paid to be
got a ticket on the phone from the Palestinian Expo. Are you recording this? Okay. I've been here for 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I shall get our client, who's I had before, who was sort of passing on to me, to get him there, so that he can take it over. I just work for the family.
Yeah,
Have you paid them any money?
Yeah, I've paid to get in. I've got the ticket. They've checked the ticket. I've been here.
So
I've
why
been
have
here.
they asked you to leave?
I don't know. They're just saying we don't want you here. I've been here for 3.5 hours. Okay, I got here at half.
Have you been given a reason?
No, not yet. They just don't want me here because I put this on. I've been here 3.5 hours. Not had a problem. I've been in the talks. I've been sitting down quietly. I've been up, had food. I put this on, and literally within about 10-15 minutes, I'm being ushered out.
And you don't know why that is? You don't
No,
know why that is?
I've asked, haven't I?
Okay,
I've asked them several times.
Are you the event organiser here? Okay. This gentleman's paid to be here apparently, and now he's saying he's been asked to leave.
We have, as organisers, a right to refusal. It's as simple as that. I've explained that, and I've got the head of security here for the venue. I've explained
But you didn't refuse me earlier.
Huh?
You haven't refused me for 3.5
What
hours.
he's saying is that he's paid money to come
And
in.
we said if you want a refund, it's a refund. That's it.
Can we get him a refund then?
Do that. That's fine.
That's not a solution to the problem. I would like to put through. I would like to bring a charge.
You can put a complaint in.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen today.
Right. Okay.
However, a refund for you.
Yeah.
For the inconvenience.
I don't want to leave.
No.
I want a reason why I've got to leave.
No,
Can I have one?
Let me explain.
Isn't it the law?
To you. Okay. This here is a private establishment.
Yeah.
So the fact that you've paid money to be here,
Yeah.
gives you an argument. Okay. But
Yeah, same as everyone else.
But now the fact that you're being refunded that money.
I don't want a refund.
Listen.
Yeah.
Stop talking and listen to me.
Okay.
The fact that you're being refunded that money.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not at a loss.
Yeah.
And the venue here does not want you to be here.
Why do they not want me to be here?
You keep talking over me. And every time I have to start again from the beginning.
Okay.
Okay? You're about to be refunded. They don't want you here.
Yeah.
It's a private property. It's a private establishment.
Yeah.
It's not a public place.
Yeah.
So if you was
It's
to go
open
into
to the public.
Sainsbury's, no, today there's a private event.
It's open to the public.
It's a private event. You got a pre-book.
Yeah, I pre-booked.
And you come in.
Yeah.
Right. You're getting that refunded. They don't want you here.
Right.
So based on that, you will have to leave.
Right. And I don't have to have a reason.
No.
That's the law, is it?
No.
Can you clarify that that's the law?
It's a private establishment. Do you understand? This is not a public place.
Okay. Well, there's lots of public coming in and out. It's a public built. Right. Okay. Sorry.
How come they're booking you out?
I don't know. That's what I want to find out. Find out what the reason is. Once you've got a reason, I'll go. It's not a problem.
Obviously, why do you want to kick you out?
It's only because I'm Jewish. It's simple.
Yeah, everyone's invited, man.
No. I've been here 3.5 hours.
Exactly.
I've literally put that on 15 minutes ago. I'm being thrown out. Seriously.
That's silly, man.
Isn't it? Everyone should be welcome here.
What prompted you to come here anyway?
Because I wanted to see the speeches, I wanted to see what's going on.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Sir, you're going to get refunded your money, and then I'd appreciate it if you left.
Okay.
If you're unhappy with the way that you've been treated today, I will get you the full set of details of how to deal with that.
Right.
I will get you those details.
Can I make a complaint here and now of racial hatred?
Usually, I would. Are you talking about?
I would like to make a formal.
To who?
To you, as a policeman. I would like to say that there's been a crime committed here, and I want you to deal with it. Because I'm being excluded on the basis of my race.
I'll speak to you about that when we go out.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. I'll get my money. If you say that's what the law is, that they're allowed to throw me out with no reason, and only because I've put a yarmulke on, then I'll be taking this further.
I'll be speaking to you about it outside.
That's fine. Okay?
did you come in without it and then put it on?
I wanted to see what reaction I got.
Why?
Because I wanted to see.
You're provoking. If you're going to come, why did you come in without it?
Are you telling
And then you put it
Are you
on.
saying I'm provoking? Does everyone who has a hijab on provoke people? That's racism.
You said you came in to see what the reaction was.
Don't get angry. That's racism.
No, you're provoking.
That's racism.
Thank you for being understanding towards.
It's all right. I spoke to the police before this event, and I've already put a complaint in about the rally that went on, and the police are investigating that. I told the policewoman who came and took my statement, what do you call it when you make a thing to the police, crime report. And I said to her, I'm going to come down here, and this is exactly what I'm going to do. She said, look, be careful, be safe. But there's no reason why you can't do that. I said, I believe it's a hotbed of anti-Semitism, and it's not right in this country that everyone can show their faith quite happily, but if I put this on, within 10 minutes of me putting this on, I'm thrown out the event. What does that say? No?
I can't give political views.
I'm not giving a political view. I'm being thrown out because I've got this on.
I said I'll speak to you about it outside.
Yeah, well, I want to make a formal complaint.
Alright, mate?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good.
Comes on.
Came to see all the speeches.
Can we try and get this process?
From Palestine, aye?
Huh?
From Palestine, yeah?
No.
You're not?
No, I'm from England.
What's the point of coming in here, then?
Are you from Palestine?
No, it says,
You're Scottish.
Are you for Palestine?
Why does that matter?
I'm asking you a question. Is that a problem?
No, I don't have to answer.
Is that what you've paid?
That is.
Right, okay.
Thank you.
I'll come back and speak to you afterwards, after I've had the chat with him.
Yeah, sure.
Because obviously I can't take sides.
That's fair enough, and it's not his fault, he's security
My
here.
role is to facilitate the peace.
No, I thank you for what you've done.
And from a breaching the peace point of view, if he stays here and he's got an issue, and the organisers have an issue, eventually it's going to lead to a police matter.
Yeah,
and I'd rather we deal with it, not in that particular
That's fine. Okay.
avenue.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. But
I'm glad you was around. So
Yeah,
thank you.
okay.
I'll hang on till you come back.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
If
welcome.
it won't be me, it'll be one of my colleagues,
Yeah,
but
no
somebody
problem.
will.
Yeah, look.
Okay?
He hasn't got a card on him.
You got a phone number? Just any number? Yeah, just write it up there.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you
Come
very
on
much.
round. Yeah. Thanks for your help.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers.
See you later.
Thank you.
Come on.
Yes.
Come on. Right.
Fine. I want to make a.
Tell me right from the beginning, right?
I would like to make a formal crime report, please. Yeah.
We'll speak about that. You came in here today.
Yep.
And then what happened? Tell me.
Nothing. I walked around. I saw loads of the people talking.
It's my car, which is why I can sit.
That's all right. Can I sit over here and have a cigarette?
Feel free to sit next to me.
No, look. I came in here. I've been to a couple of counter demonstrations. of the rally last month, and I wanted to see what's going on in it. I want to see how much hatred there is being spread, and about the British government as well. The stuff they're saying inside about the government, saying that the Zionists, the government, they're all in league, they're all against Palestine, we want to get rid of the government. Have you listened to what they've said? I've got it all recorded.
Does it go any further than being strongly political?
That's not political. Anti-Semitism. Open anti-Semitism. They denied. They were saying that the Jews were responsible for the Grenfell Tower. They're saying, which the police are already investigating during the march. They've gone into blood libels against Jews. Several of the speakers have done that, saying that the Jewish people are, what did they say, genocide against Palestinians, which has been specifically forbidden to be able to say under English law. Okay, look, if I can show you the UK definition of anti-Semitism, and I've got 7 or 8 instances in those speeches where there's anti-Semitism. I've put on a yarmulke to see. I was hoping that no one would do anything. And all of a sudden I put it on, I get thrown out. That is only because of my race, my religion. And that's a crime.
The issue that you probably didn't know about is that out there today, there is a...
I'm not with them.
I know you're not with, but there's a counter-Palestine protest. It's just over there.
I'm not here to counter Palestine.
I never said you are.
Okay.
But what's happening is as these people are going in and out. They're already getting some grief from some of the counter-protesters that is over there, okay? Because they are having...
But I'm not giving them any grief.
I didn't say you.
Okay.
Yeah, but they are obviously having some views thrown at them that is upsetting.
What, there or in there?
So the people that are going into here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so then they've obviously gone in and then they've seen you. Okay, and then you've put the top on and then you've got the camera on. Okay, so that kind of was like...
The only thing that changed is that.
Yeah, I'm aware.
That's the only thing.
I'm aware. But
I'll take it off.
Yeah, the fact, thank you.
You don't even know if I'm Jewish or not.
Well,
no one's asked.
Yeah.
But that's the sad bit.
I can see where you're coming from. But the fact they already started there.
I have,
not
okay.
You, but
no, I understand.
Yeah, and then they've gone in and they've seen you.
But the security cards have been in there before.
Forget them for now. We'll speak about
But they're the ones who throw me out.
No, I know. But
okay.
What's happened is they've seen you in there with that, with the camera. Right, and they thought probably. Because you know people jump to conclusions. That you're with them. I don't know that has happened. But I'm willing to take a good bet on it that it has. Because a lot of people that are in there, when they're coming out, they're standing there. And they're coming
so
are you
giving that as a reason for me being in there wearing the yarmulke?
I'm not talking about the security guard.
I'm talking about the people who threw me out. That's who I'm talking about.
When the security guard said the event organizer doesn't want yourself here,
I wanted to know a reason.
I said to know, well, can you bring him? So he's come out and he's basically explained that you were there and he's decided that he doesn't want you there.
For what reason?
And he's got the right to basically ask anybody to leave.
No. Right, okay. If there were 2 gays in there and they asked them to leave, they would not be allowed to. They would be convicted by law. Okay?
Let me tell you where the difficulty lies.
Do you remember the shop where sorry, can I just make an example? Do you remember the hotel where they wouldn't let the 2 Christian gays in? They wouldn't let them in. There was a case in the Crown Court, okay, about homophobia, and the court found that they were guilty. The hotel was guilty because they excluded them because of their beliefs, okay, of being gay, because they were devout Christians who owned the place, and they were found guilty of excluding people based on their race. That's what's happened to me.
Do you know what the difficulty here is?
There is no difficulty. You are making a difficulty. You as a policeman should be upholding the law. You have just seen me be thrown out.
No. Listen to me. Let me tell you where the difficulty lies. The difficulty lies is that the people that are holding the event in there today have probably paid a lot of money to hold that event in there today.
What's that got to do with anything?
The organisers
Yeah.
that are there, the security,
Yeah.
the management, right? They are renting this facility out
Right.
for that process.
Right.
Okay. So if the event organisers
Yeah.
that are different from this establishment
Yeah.
decide that they don't want you there,
Right.
the security have to follow that instruction because they're being paid by that
Yeah.
event organiser.
But I wanted to know what reason I was
for
being thrown
that
out. They have to
event.
give a reason.
They don't.
Oh, so
They don't.
they have. How many people are they thrown out today?
I don't. Well,
Could you go and ask?
no, I can't go and ask. But what I'm saying to
You can go and
is
ask.
There's a
You don't want to.
possibility that people have been asked to leave, but it's not been escalated to police.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, I would like to
But
know
I
how
don't
many.
have the
I
right-
haven't seen one person.
I
I've been here
don't
3.5
have the right
hours.
to ask him that question.
Of course you do. You're a policeman.
No, I
If
don't.
I say to you, if I said to a policeman, this is a crime against me, they are being racist against me. If it was a Muslim lady who went into a church and she wore a hijab, and they said, no, go on out, we don't want you here, she'd be quite right in bringing a case against the church. She would have every right. It's private property.
If something is said about you privately and directly to yourself,
Yeah.
or even not to yourself, toward the general public,
Yeah.
okay, that can be defined as a racial crime.
It is a racial crime.
Okay,
I'm
then-
reporting a racial crime.
Right. I'm not seeing something right now that
Right.
will instigate an investigation.
Then could you please
as
get me a
racial
superior
crime.
officer? Because do you remember Stephen Lawrence? Do you remember Stephen Lawrence? There were very clear guidelines laid down for the police.
This is nothing to
for
do with
anti-Semitism.
this. Sir, listen to me.
It's
Let me
about
talk.
reporting
No.
a crime of racial hatred. The police have to
Right,
take it
if you feel
extremely
that
serious.
something that you have recorded is racial.
It is.
Let me
I'm
finish.
telling you.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
If you feel that something that
Right.
you have recorded is racial,
Yeah.
this is what I need you to do.
Yeah.
You need to go and burn off whatever you've got in there
Yeah.
onto a disc.
No, and that comes after. That comes when you take. I want to physically. I want you to report a crime happening.
There is no crime based on what I've just said.
Okay, fine. There's no point in me carrying on with this with you. You are Police Constable George. Okay, of the Met Police. Yeah, fine. Okay. Right, I'm going to be taking it up. We're going to start a solicitor's case against the police.
Okay.
You are meant to take every crime seriously, including and especially racial hatred crimes. It is laid down in your police code, which I've read, okay, and you are meant to deal with it. You are not allowed to brush it under the carpet. If you do, you might be liable. You are not dealing with it. The
You're
fact.
very hostile.
I'm not
You're very
hostile. I'm explaining the
are
law to you.
incredibly hostile.
Listen,
I'll
calm down.
I don't appreciate
Okay.
being threatened.
I'm not threatening you.
You can threaten me as much as you
I'm
like.
saying that
but
you as a
I
police
don't
constable-
I don't appreciate being threatened.
What did I threaten you
racially
with?
aggravated public order
Yeah,
offence,
which is that?
Okay, is not something that I've so far witnessed.
So me
what I
getting
have so
thrown
far
out.
witnessed is you being asked to leave
Yep.
by a private event that they did not want you there. Now, so far,
Okay.
I have not had a full discussion with them
Yep.
about why they have asked you to leave.
Right.
You're telling me that there's a racial crime. I
Yep.
can't see it at this point.
Right.
Do you understand?
I understand.
So if you're telling me that there's a racial crime,
Yep.
there is going to be a particular person that has racially abused you
Yep.
or racially said or done something to
Yeah.
you, at which point an allegation would be put to them,
Yep.
and based on what they say, they may be liable to arrest. That is not what's happened so far.
Okay.
If you're saying to me that there was an event in that place
Yep.
where the rhetoric can be deemed to be racial
Yep.
in any shape or form,
Yep.
that is a very big scale. That is a very big allegation to make.
There are loads.
It's not something
and I've
where you're
recorded
going to
them all.
click your fingers and it's going to happen. It's not the same as you saying to me, this guy or this lady just said to me, I'm an XXXA from
Yeah.
ABCD.
Yeah.
That's not what's happened. What you're alleging,
Yeah.
potentially, is something that I would have to see.
Yeah.
That's A. And B, it's on a very big scale. Now, I've already explained to you.
Can you keep your voice down,
Yeah,
please?
but
You're really shouting.
Yeah, but you did sort of start to push me.
I didn't.
down the end, right? What you need to do is
Yeah.
burn that off, bring it into the police station,
Okay.
and make a statement there.
Right.
Because of the nature of what you're saying,
Yeah.
after somebody's seen it,
Yeah.
they're going to go get someone senior
Okay.
to have a look at.
Right.
Because what you're basically saying,
Yeah.
I kid you not,
Yeah.
I can't get into it because I would have to view it first, but you're making a very big allegation or statement, if you'd like, out of the whole thing. That would have to be seen. Eventually, what it sounds like, not only does it implicate the event organisers,
it certainly
but
does.
also the staff of the bigger venue in there, because then what's happened is they've facilitated something that you're saying to me is damn out of order. Right, that is not something that you're going to click your fingers and things are literally going to, it doesn't work like that. Because this is a very big scale. I'm not dismissing it. All I'm saying to you is it's going to take a bit longer than you saying to me, Joe Bloggs has just said this and said that to me. Are you with me on that? I'm not being dismissive.
So as far as people on the speeches making blood libels against Jews, that obviously is an anti-Semitic crime.
When it's all on video,
it is,
and it is being viewed, and it is deemed to be of that nature.
So can I just ask a question? So I can't report it while it's going on, or while something's happening.
I've already explained to you. I've already explained to you what's going on.
Is that not how the law works?
No. I've already explained to you what's going on, because what you're saying is you're asking me to go in there and arrest 200 people.
No, not 200.
No, you are.
There are certain speakers.
No, you don't understand the police perspective.
I do. Sorry, I do.
Everybody who is in there today, their names and details are going to be listed. It's not like they're going to disappear.
Fair enough.
In there and accuse a few hundred people.
No, I know.
Of racial
I know you
crimes.
can't.
It's the daftest thing that
You do have the power, however. The government has the power to shut down an event if it is deemed to be inciting racial hatred, which is exactly what I've witnessed in there.
Only one person,
and I'm a witness.
We have to take it into proportionality.
I have to report it.
All I'm saying to you is, whether it happens today in a few hours or tomorrow morning, it's not going to make any difference.
Well, tomorrow morning the crime is still going on. It's going to go on for another day of racial hatred against the UK, against Israel and against Jews.
Can you just tell me what it is that you deem to be racist?
Right, I'll show you. Do you want to sit in the car and I'll show you?
Because you said you've witnessed it.
Right, so blood libels by several of the speakers.
Say again?
Blood libels, as in genocide, saying that Jews are causing genocide. That is a blood libel, specifically laid out. That's laid out in the rule of anti-Semitism.
It's a political view. What else?
Fine, okay. There's no point in me speaking to you, okay? I've read the anti-Semitic crime as per the UK regulations and law, and it specifically mentions that as a crime. It specifically mentions that. Now, you obviously haven't read it. I know you haven't. And look, I understand you're trying to not deal with this. That's fine. I will take it higher. I'm going to have to. But as if I was black and someone was, and people were being racial and saying, "Oh, kill the blacks, kill this, kill that, oh, destroy them."
What they were saying.
They were saying destroy, destroy Israel, get rid of Israel. Yeah, we don't want peace. We're going to continue the conflict. We're going to continue the violence until we get what we want. That is inciting racial hatred.
So by you
against Jewish people,
by you taking that recording into a police station, make a decision.
But you should. Okay, so if I do that now, they can then decide whether they want to close it down straight away.
Nobody's going to make a decision that quickly.
But why? There's a crime happening at the time.
Nobody's going to make a decision that quickly. Because there's a thing called proportionality of, and the fact that there's an event going on, and that there's loads of people that are going to need to be spoken to, before we start jumping on people's throats and accusing them of things. Because two wrongs and overreacting doesn't make a right. So by you taking what you've witnessed and letting someone watch it in slow time, discuss it with a few other people and take it higher if necessary, is not going to stop anything from happening.
Thank you very much.
Now, do you know where the nearest police station is?
No, but do I have to do it here or when I get home?
It's totally up to you.
It doesn't make a difference.
It's totally up to you.
Good. Okay, brilliant. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you, officer.
Okay.
Sorry.
debate that's going on in my head right now. When do I go?
Palestinians don't have an army. You realise that? You're against. Israeli military.
They do have an army. It's called Hamas.
Israeli military against Palestinian people. There's no Palestinian military.
Jason.
I'm a Palestinian, and I agree with you. Zero tolerance for terrorism. I agree. Totally agree with you.
Do you agree that Hamas has gone against
okay, I agree that Hamas has gone against Palestinian people. What do you say about Israel? What do you say about Israel?
What do you say that my grandparents had a passport that said Palestinian, and they weren't Muslims, they were living in the area, and
I have no problem with
said
them.
Palestinian.
Why not? Why not? That land is not just for Muslims. It's not exclusively for Muslims.
No,
that land is for the whole
So why are there no Jews in Gaza?
So
why are there no Jews in Gaza?
And we were always there too.
I don't see why, like my city that I lived in Israel, in Eilat, where there was Jews, Muslims, Christians, whoever was best at the job got the job, whoever could afford the house bought the house, and that is a wonderful scenario. No apartheid, it was people of all religions living together. You go any city, like I know Eilat best because it's where I live. On Muslim high holidays, it's full of Muslims on holidays.
Assuming
Why
that
not?
this is the fact now.
This is what happened.
You're making some sense if this is the fact now. But is this how it started? Did it start like this? No, you started, you kicked people out.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Assuming that. What happened? Tell me what happened.
That's a lie.
You tell me.
As in your words, you said there were always Jews in the area. Yes, scientific massacre.
I've just been kicked out of the event for putting the yarmulke on. For putting the yarmulke on. For putting the yarmulke on. I've been in there 3.5 hours.
Yeah, we have Jason.
It's all recorded. It's going to the police. I've recorded it for the police. I've recorded all the speeches. Complete hatred, Jew hatred, blood libels. I've been in there. There's been blood libels. In there. Yeah, by the key speakers. Yeah. I've recorded every one. Blood libels again and again, calling Jews the problems in the world, calling Jews...
I don't think they'd say that.
I've seen it.
I don't think they'd say that.
It's on here. It's going to the police.
Who said it?
3 or 4 people. I can't remember their names.
It's not right. I don't think anyone would say that.
Oh, well, everyone...
But do you know what they've said here? Do you know what this lady's been saying?
Yeah, what?
Huh? What? Well, she's using the words there. She's saying that
I've just been thrown out of that event for being Jewish.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have. I was in there 3.5 hours without a problem. I put a yarmulke on. I get evicted.
You wearing a yarmulke?
I just got thrown out for wearing a yarmulke.
No, I don't think you did.
I've reported it. I've reported it to the police, and the police wouldn't even take a crime.
I think it's your assumption that.
No, it's not an assumption.
I think it was. Why would they? I don't have a problem with you. I don't have a problem with you wearing a yarmulke.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you have a problem with my daughter wearing a headscarf?
No, not at all.
But I don't have a problem with you wearing a yarmulke.
There are people being kicked out for wearing a headscarf in there. But I got kicked out for putting the yarmulke on.
I don't think people will be kicked out for wearing a headscarf.
I was in there for 3.5 hours.
That's not true.
Watching the speeches, going to everything.
Sitting with, become friends with, and they're Jewish with the Catholic.
Yeah.
They haven't been kicked out.
They weren't.
Literally.
I'm telling you. Why are you wearing this in the first place? Because you're anticipating.
Why are you filming?
Huh?
Why are you filming?
So why can't
It's free to film. Everyone's filming the speeches.
No, but you came prepared.
So what?
Prepared.
I want to see.
You came here to cause division and hatred.
Yeah.
You came here, sir.
By the security, by the organisers.
Sir.
Hold on.
You came here to cause division and hatred. You came here prepared.
Don't shout at me.
That's true.
Don't shout at me. I was in there for 3.5 hours. I've watched loads of speeches. I've caused no problems. I had lunch in there. Really nice. And I wanted to see what would happen if I put a yarmulke on. You don't know whether I'm Jewish or not. It's merely a sign of faith. Okay? You don't know what I think about Palestine and Israel. It's irrelevant. No, I don't have to. I'm trying to explain. I'm having a conversation with this lady. I'm having a conversation with this lady. Okay? So I put a yarmulke on, and within 10-15 minutes I get thrown out. No reason, just the organisers don't want you here. After I've been in there 3.5 hours. No. I was thrown out. The policeman escorted me out. The security guard told the policeman they refund. No, I'm not at all. Are you?
No, I'm asking you why they.
Well, are you?
I've not been thrown out. That's what I'm asking.
Exactly. You're not thrown out because you're not Jewish, obviously.
I don't think that's got anything to do with it.
Well, it's as soon as I put my sign of faith. As soon as I put my sign of faith on, I get thrown out.
There's people speaking there. They're speaking.
That's wrong.
They're Jewish.
That's racial hatred. I don't care.
That's nonsense.
It doesn't mean
there's Jews in there.
So what? What's that got to do with it?
This isn't about a Jewish-Muslim thing. It's about what's
well, that's not what the speakers are saying. The speakers have mentioned Jews about 30, 40 times.
What do you think they're doing? Self-hating Jews in there or something? There's Jews in there.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
Why are the Israelis killing people?
Masjid Nawaz, is hated by most of the Muslim community and has basically he's Muslim. Oh, he speaks on LBC. He runs the Quilliam Corporation. He's got death threats. He's got death threats on his head from Muslims.
You've come prepared to create.
Why all this hatred? Why the hatred? You're such angry people, you three. You're really angry.
You created division.
You're angry.
You're creating division.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Since when?
You've come prepared.
In Israel,
I'm not speaking. I'm not raising.
Why are you talking about
Sorry?
in Israel,
Of course they do.
you don't have a right.
Of course they do.
You're prejudiced.
Is apartheid.
No, it's not. Palestinian. There is no Palestinian identity. It's a
There
myth.
is no Israeli identity.
There is no Palestinian identity.
from there.
No.
You don't want Palestine to exist, and you wonder why you.
There's no Palestinian identity. It's a myth.
You're against the
There
right
is
of
no
Palestinians to
state
exist.
of Palestine, therefore you cannot be Palestinian.
If there's no Palestine state, does that mean it's okay to just kill the people in it?
Who's killing them?
Israel!
No, Hamas.
No, then
Hezbollah.
Who killed the?
Excuse me. Excuse me.
There's even a video on YouTube of the Israeli soldiers who dropped the bomb on the little kids on the beach.
Illegal
On the beach.
Yes.
No.
Somebody
You're a liar.
No.
You wonder why you've been
I've
thrown
also
out.
seen rockets fired on top of schools and buildings and hospitals where there's women and children
Maybe
in.
there is a few bad people.
A few there.
They're fighting.
30,000 rockets went in the past 2 years. A few bad people. That's Hamas organised destruction of Israel.
Oh my God!
You're trying to destroy a state.
You just.
There are signs outside Gaza that said no Jews allowed. Bright red.
Have you seen?
Seriously? Under threat of being killed. That's what the sign says.
Let them.
Okay.
Have you heard of the man who says the Palestinians?
What Palestinian? Have you heard of him? Have you heard the history of Palestine? Have you heard the history of Palestine? Have you heard the reports? Have you heard the reports that were done in the 1800s showing the indigenous people that were there at the time, and the majority of them were Jews
Christians and Muslims. There was a mixture. Hebron was full of Jews. There were Jews across the whole of the Middle East, in all the countries, okay? 200,000 in Syria. Where there's no Jews left anymore because they've been thrown out. You don't know anything.
Excuse me.
Sorry. You're right.
See, I want to tell you something. I honestly believe that blood is blood. And you take a Palestinian baby, a Jewish Israeli baby, a Jewish English baby, a Christian, it's the same to me. Their lives all work the same, and I really respect them. What I don't respect, and that I will stand up to, is anyone that doesn't understand how bad any terrorist organization is. And actually, if you went and spent 6 months inside Gaza and saw, unfortunately, how the people of Gaza suffer because of Hamas, and they are scared stiff. It's such, and not just going there for a few days where you're shown what the people want you to see. It's so sad.
Even the British envoy, what was his name? The British envoy, Colonel Kemp, did a report at the UN, in front of all the UN, and he said the people that are harming the Palestinians in Gaza more than anyone are Hamas. He said he has seen with his own eyes. He was there for 16 years as an observer.
It's a huge prison.
It's not. It's a myth.
It's not a myth.
They were given autonomy to rule themselves, and they voted in Hamas.
It's not even a wall; it's a sea as well. It's literally a blockade.
Yeah, why?
You have a border with Egypt
Why?
as well.
Why?
Have a border with
Because
Egypt.
they bring in bombs to kill Jewish
They also
people.
bring in supplies as well.
No. They're given supplies.
From who? From where?
By everyone. By the UN. By Israel. By the US.
Israel controls that entire.
No, they don't. They let them in. That's a myth.
Egypt has a border.
That's a myth.
Do you not know that?
I know Egypt has. I've been to Egypt. I know.
So you know that there is a border
Yes, I
that
know
Egypt
that.
controls.
Yeah.
Israel has no say in that border whatsoever. Did you not
They
realise
technically
that?
do because they
So why aren't you fighting? Why aren't you fighting them?
Egypt.
Why aren't you fighting Egypt?
What do you mean they're fighting Egypt?
Why aren't you fighting Egypt if they're doing the same?
Egypt has to do what Israel asks them to.
No, they don't.
They do.
What a load of rubbish.
Of course they do. Israel held up.
So you
Egypt held up that
So you
blockade.
have to. So basically, Palestinians have to do what Hamas say, which is a terrorist organisation.
Say that again.
Basically, Palestinians, therefore, by that assumption, have to do what the Hamas say, who are a terrorist organisation in the UK and across the world. Well, you've just told me. You just told me that Egypt has to do what Israel has to do.
Because they're strong influence they have on them.
Right, and how about the strong influence that the Palestinians have, or that Hamas have, on the Palestinians? Where they actually stop women and children leaving a bombing zone because they want to show deaths.
You honestly believe that Israel...
Colonel Kemp has reported that to the UN. He has seen it as a reporter.
You believe Israel wouldn't be bombing those people were it not for women and children? Like, if women and children weren't there, you're telling me Israel won't be bombing...
They drop leaflets. They drop leaflets to tell civilians to get out. And it has been recorded. It's been recorded by the World Health Organization that Hamas are physically stopping women and children leaving the area. Look further. Look further than what you're told.
All I'm saying is that
seriously.
you know deep down that Israel targets indiscriminately the Palestinian population.
No, rubbish.
When they're using white phosphorus in the Gaza, that was
rubbish. That's one thing. That's one thing. Yeah. Okay. How about the however many? Let's say. How about the past 3 months and about 50 stabbings of Jewish people?
Okay.
How about the girl that was murdered in her bed while she slept by Palestinian terrorists?
So
you wonder why we don't want them coming into Israel? Because they're trying to kill. I've heard
How
in
far
there.
back are you going back though?
This is last year.
No. I'm talking about your memory. You're going back to these.
I know everything. I've kept a really close eye.
Really?
I look at both sides. I look at the Palestinian side. I look at the Israeli side. I try to remain impartial.
You try to remain impartial.
Seriously, I do.
Yeah.
The people that are harming the Palestinians the most are Hamas in Gaza. Seriously, it's been reported so many times. Okay, you can find it everywhere. Look. Okay, because the sad thing is, I don't want anyone to die. If I'm anything, I'm a Buddhist. Okay, I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in God. I would be a Buddhist if I could. Well, I am. okay, out of choice. I don't I wanted to make a statement. I wanted to say, can I be...
So you're Buddhist and you're handing out these?
Yeah, I want to try and save Israel. I don't want people murdered. I don't want people murdered.
Murdering goes on both sides.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But don't forget Hamas are murdering as well.
Yeah. Not only the Israeli military, Israeli right wingers as well. They're stabbing and burning.
No, they're not. That's a lie.
It's not a lie.
Fine. You show me one bit of evidence. Seriously.
You've got the internet, man, really.
Find the evidence.
So that kid that got kidnapped and set on fire, that was Hamas, was it? That was in West Bank. Yeah, that was really that outraged a lot of people.
And how about the 3 that were captured and killed?
You can't just say how about when I've just...
Well, you're talking about retaliation.
I'm not talking about retaliation.
You are.
That's not.
You just said how about this person. So you're saying one's another.
No, I'm
same thing that I'm saying.
You're talking as if it's all kind of one-sided.
It's not all one-sided. There are bad people in Israel. I agree.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be doing some of the things they're doing. Yeah. But when you've got a nation of people who aren't really a nation, they are a collective of Arabs who moved into the area after what was it, 1911, 1920, they moved into the area.
That was around the time the Jews started coming in 1930s as well.
Earlier, Jews were in there already. There were loads of Jews in there for hundreds and thousands of years.
There were Palestinian Jews.
No, they weren't Palestinian because there wasn't a state of Palestine. You don't get this. It was owned by the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire ruled it for 600 years.
It wasn't Palestine.
It wasn't Palestine. The Romans named Judah Palestine in order to spite the Jewish people when they burned down the Second Temple. I'm telling you, this is true.
There's no nation state called Palestine in the modern sense of a nation state.
There is no nation state. Therefore, Palestinians do not have that identity. They are Arabs from surrounding areas.
There's a difference between a nation state and a nation. You do realise that, right? Yes or no?
You can't. You can't. I can't call myself. Okay, let's say I'm Tree. I've just created that tree as a state.
Not necessarily.
There we are, I'm a tree.
Not necessarily. I'll give you an example.
No, I belong to that tree.
I'll give you an example. There's North Sudan, there's a South Sudan, right? It was also technically Sudan at one point. The Christians in the South, they wanted a nation state for themselves, right? So they created South Sudan, right? That isn't to say that, you know, there wasn't a nation called Sudan before that. There was.
Yeah.
So if you
Sudan was a nation.
Yes.
Palestine was not a nation because it didn't have a government. No, it didn't. It was not. It's a myth. Seriously, it's a myth. Historically, it's true. You can't rewrite history.
Nation state, yeah. Nation states are relatively new in history.
Okay, just do you know? I mean, look, be polite about this. I want to try to educate people because from what I've seen in there, it's building up hate. It's not.
I didn't see any hate.
I've watched the 3-4 keynote speakers, and they're all saying about Jews this, Jews that. They're running the country. They're running the government. No, they said Jews. No, I got it on camera. Okay, and look, it's wrong. Okay, I don't want to see hatred against anyone. I want the Palestinians to be free and have a good life, the same way as other people do.
Yeah, but you don't have to have a state of their own, do you?
Right.
Answer that.
Not if it's going to mean the destruction of Israel. No.
So
how can you say?
You disagree with the 1967 borders then?
Totally.
You disagree with those?
Yeah.
So then how are the Palestinians supposed to have a state then if you disagree with the borders?
Hold on. 1948, that land was all Israel. Okay?
Yeah, 1947 it was all Palestine.
No, Palestine wasn't a land.
No, it was under control of British.
It was under the control of the British mandate. It was not
You
Palestine.
see a National Geographic map.
Okay, so you go back further and it's Israel. You go to the Bible, it's Israel.
I'm just neutral person, okay, because I know history, okay.
People don't want to hear the truth.
That belongs to, under control of British government.
Yeah, but if you look at the geographical map of it, it was all Palestine.
Right, okay.
The UN declared independent two states, Palestine and Israel.
Yeah.
Palestine Israel
but before that,
Palestinians didn't accept. They want through Israeli to the sea.
Yes.
Well, it wasn't that. Well, if you think from that point of view, they were expelled from their villages.
No, they weren't.
Of course they were.
No. Right. Okay. Look. Can I just?
It's common sense. You can't just have people come in and
please.
remain where they were. People have to remain expelled.
Just listen.
The Palestinian area was bigger than Israelis. 1940.
In 1948, okay.
Yes.
Listen, I'm not trying to dissuade you. You can find this out, okay. In 1948, they had a choice of either two-state solution or not. Israel said yes, we'll take it, and Israel had the whole of Jordan, had the whole of Jerusalem and everywhere. It was Israeli rule. Okay. Then you had the war in 48, where all the Arab nations invaded Israel. Jordan took the West Bank and most of all of Jerusalem. They stopped Jews from going into Jerusalem for however many years until the '67 war, when under the Geneva Convention, if you take land from people that are trying to take you, that are trying to destroy you, you are legally bound to take that land. And that's what Israel did. They drove Jordan out of.
Technically, Palestinians could have done that in 1947, then, before the creation of Israel.
But there wasn't Palestinians. You don't get it. Right. I'll give you a brief history about what Palestine.
I know British were occupying.
I'll give you a brief. No. Before the British mandate.
It wasn't Palestine at all.
So what was it? Britain?
No. Palestinian originally coming from Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Syria, Arab nations.
What they did was, there was a lot of Jewish settlements in the 1800s. Okay, they started to till the land. They started to make the land good. There were some small villages, and if you read, I've got reports here of a guy that was around in the 1830 to the 1901, and he actually does a report, and it's not biased because it was done at the time. It was his life story. He's dead, long dead, so he hasn't made this up. And he went into all the villages that were in Israel, or Palestine, whatever you want to call it. He went into all the villages, what percentage populations they were for religion, and he mapped it all out. There are loads of stuff that say how the north was merely swamps. The people, the indigenous people that were there, weren't able to till the land properly. They didn't have the skills. It was the worst.
Indigenous people?
The indigenous people were, particularly in the north, they were Arabs. Okay. In the south, there were a lot of Jewish villages as well. Now, what happened was that hold on, I've lost my train of thought. Hold on, I'll get to it. It's really interesting. Okay, you can look at this all up, please. Don't just take my word for it. Look it up. It's all there. The way it happened was that Jewish people started to settle. Now, they actually bought land. Yeah, they didn't take the land. Did you know that the majority of Palestinians never owned any land? Did you know that? I can show you a report here that says about land ownership in Palestine from the 1800s up to current day. And you can do a search on that, land ownership in Palestine, 1800 or 1836. Do a search, you'll find the actual report that was done from that time. Okay? And what they did was they found out that the land was mainly owned by oil sheikhs, Arab sheikhs. They were owned by the Turks.
Oil sheikhs?
Well, Arabs, wealthy landowners, the kings.
Right,
Saudi kings. So before
from Babylon.
Okay. So Egypt, the Egyptian heads all owned loads of Palestine. The Ottoman Empire owned loads of Palestine, and so did the Arab nations and Greece. And what happened was, and I can show you the bill of sales, Jewish corporations bought that land legally from these princes and kings who owned the land. And it was reported by everyone at the time, in the 1800s, that most Palestinians were merely tenant farmers. They didn't physically own the land themselves. Okay, you can find all this out. This is in the history books.
Yeah, but not owning property is different from actually being from that land. I mean, like, there's generations.
Jewish people were from that land from biblical times.
But these Jews that came, a lot of them were like white European Jews.
Because they were thrown out of other countries.
They're not
Middle Eastern
people. They're not.
Of course they are. We're descended from Middle Eastern people.
You've heard of the Khazars, right? Yeah, so they were a group who converted to Judaism. They're Europeans. That's why you look at Ashkenazis, you can see.
So are you saying I'm not a proper Jew? Are you saying I'm not a proper Jew then?
I know it's debatable. It's definitely debatable.
I'm not a proper Jew.
Where's your family heritage from?
My family heritage is from across Europe, but I could trace it right back to biblical times.
The mitochondrial DNA follows the female line. It is from the mother, and the Jewish inherit their Judaism from the mother, not the father.
Even if you read in the Quran, read in the Quran, it mentions Israel's. I can't remember how many times.
Israel. You know the concept of Bani Israel is children of Israel. That's
the children of Israel.
And who is Israel? Who's Israel?
It was mainly Jewish people.
Who is Israel?
What do you mean? Who is not a person?
This guy doesn't know his religion. Who is Israel?
Who is not a person?
Let him talk for himself. Who is Israel?
Who is not a person?
Jacob is Israel.
Who is not a person?
This guy doesn't know. Jacob is Israel.
You can't ask the question like that.
It means, and what does Israel mean? What does Israel mean? He who struggles with God.
No.
He was given the name.
This guy doesn't know it. Read your Torah,
right?
Mate.
Okay.
I've shown something very basic here.
So you've heard.
Judaism.
So you've
Jacob
heard.
is Israel, and he doesn't know that. The children
Israel
of Israel
is the land of Israel, given by God.
The person who was named after was Jacob.
Sorry?
Based on what? This is the land of Israel.
Well, based on God.
By God.
Yeah.
So ISIL is got the right also to ask for
Why?
Islamic State.
Why?
Because it's mentioned in Quran. And
just because they mention the Torah doesn't give them any rights.
The Quran wasn't given by God. The Bible and the Torah was given.
Even the Quran mentions Israel multiple times.
Children of Israel.
No, Israel. No,
Bani Israel.
Okay, how many times does the Quran mention Palestinians? Not once. There is not one reference in the whole of the Quran, or the Bible, or in Christianity for Palestinians. But no, they don't. No, they don't. No, only after they talk about Palestine, not the Palestinian people. Not like they talk about the
Canaanites. The Canaanites.
No, they weren't Palestinians.
They technically were.
No, they weren't.
The land was called Canaan at one point. You realise that, right?
No, I know that.
Yeah, it wasn't Israel, it was Canaan.
Yeah. So how do you know my people weren't from there? How do you know Palestinians were from there? Most Palestinians will agree that their families, if you look at the surnames of a lot of Palestinians, about 40% have names that come from outside the region, such as in Egypt. They have Egyptian surnames because they moved into the area.
So when they moved into the area, who was there?
Jewish people who they kicked out.
Nonsense.
No, seriously.
The Arabs came in what, the 7th century into Palestine, right?
No, 636.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Who was there before?
Yeah, the Byzantines were there. Do you realise that?
Yeah, and who was there?
The Jewish majority. Do you realise that it was Christians?
No, only because we were thrown out by the Romans.
Yeah, so you're gonna, so it wasn't.
Right, so we were there before. So you're saying we can be thrown. You're saying we can be thrown out and be replaced by your lot.
He's saying that the Arabs just came in and expelled the Jews, but there were hardly any Jews there to begin with at that time.
No,
Byzantine territory.
Because they were wiped out by the Christians.
Yeah,
by the Romans.
Right, so there wasn't.
But there has always been a presence there.
Yeah, there have been a presence there.
Shlomo Sands book, The Invention of Jewish People.
And he's Jewish, right?
Yeah, he's an academic, he teaches in...
Doesn't mean he's right.
No, it doesn't mean he's right, it's an interesting
So you're saying we're invented, the Jews?
No, he's saying you're invented.
What do you mean, how can we be invented? So are Muslims invented? No, they're not. Why?
Well, because
they're inventing a Palestine. They're rewriting history in there.
Muslims, it's a religion.
So's Judaism.
Yeah.
That's being Jewish. Of course they are.
Why are they people?
Because we had the land of Israel for thousands of years. Long before Muslim religion ever started.
So
learn your history. It's all there.
So is this a Neolithic country?
What, England?
Or is it a Bronze Age
England.
country?
Okay, how would you feel if I went? How about it's a pagan country primarily? It was pagan, yeah.
Okay, so
and then Christianity came here.
To pagans, is it? From 2,000 years ago.
Pagans would be allowed to settle there, yeah. And there's no discrimination of pagans that are around today. There are still pagans around.
And would they be entitled to be the government there?
No, a government is a diplomatic government.
Is it what government?
It's based on the diplomacy of the country.
Yeah, but the Christians have only been here for 2,000 years.
They're not excluded from being.
Actually, they've been here for 1,600 years.
Okay, so
they've only been here for.
So how many people are being excluded from the Senate, from the Knesset in Israel?
How many people have been
excluded? How many Muslims are being excluded? Or there are Muslims sitting on the Knesset.
Yeah.
So it's not an apartheid state. That would never happen in South Africa. You wouldn't have had a black person in South Africa standing on the government. That's apartheid.
So
you want to separate the issue of what Israel is about, which is about multiculturalism, about gay pride march. Yeah, seriously. Have you been? I've spent time there, a long time, and you go along there's mosques.
Is gay pride welcomed in
There's
Jerusalem
gay pride
without any opposition from Orthodox Jews?
There might be opposition, but it's allowed. It's allowed to go ahead.
Didn't someone get stabbed by an Orthodox Jew in
I don't know.
Gay prides in Jerusalem?
I don't know.
Orthodox Jew.
When was this?
Last year.
Oh, I don't know. Okay. Was there a lady stabbed or a girl who had her throat slit by Palestinians in her house?
Where?
What do you mean where? In Israel.
And was there a family who had?
Do you want to see her? Look, that's her face. She was asleep in her bed when she had her throat slit by two Palestinians.
Where's the picture of the guy, of the family who had petrol poured all over them, their house set on fire?
I don't know, is there a picture? Have you got it? Who did it? Was it the Israelis or was it the Palestinians? Oh, why was it definitely the Israelis?
Well,
you don't think it was Hamas?
Because he got arrested.
Because they got arrested and put in prison.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
and a lot of Israelis were celebrating.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
That kid got set on
But that doesn't matter, does it? No, Israeli courts don't matter. Well, all the Palestinians that are in the Israeli jails are all meant to be free people. They've not committed any crimes of killing women and children, of stabbing people in the streets. You can't have a dual. You can't have a dual. You can't have a dual thing that you say that Palestinians are not terrorists, but Israel is. They're all killing each other. Okay, but the worst people are Hamas and Hezbollah, because their sole agenda is to drive Jews out of their land, and that is in the Hamas agenda. No, it is. Have they changed it this year? Have they? They've changed it this year. Yeah, I have read this year's one. Thank you very much. And it says about getting Jews out of their land.
Do you realise that Israel actually encouraged Hamas being established?
Wow, that's a blood libel. Okay, fine. So you stand there. You are a Hamas supporter.
You can let me finish my point.
And you are an ISIS supporter. Why don't you march down the street and bomb a few people if you want ISIS?
Are you going to let me finish my point?
You support ISIS, don't you? No, you support ISIS.
Is this allegation me like?
You support ISIS. You must be an ISIS supporter.
I'm trying to
You're saying the Jews are responsible for Hamas. That's the same thing. Same thing.
You're not letting me even finish my point.
Well, because you've just made something that's really denigrating and a really horrible thing to say. That is a blood libel. That is not physically true.
What I was going to say is
that is anti-Semitism, mate. Okay? That's anti-Semitism. Right. Where are they gone?